Look at the sheer velocity of large language models right now. Based on their trajectory in math, physics, and software development, experts predict we will hit human-level artificial general intelligence within the next 2 to 4 years. When you hear that timeline, you might assume a government agency is managing the transition. But when researchers speak to regulatory leaders, many don't even know the technical vocabulary of the systems they are supposed to be governing. We approach AI safety like it's Oppenheimer 2.0. We treat it like nuclear non-proliferation, assuming we can lock the raw materials in a secure facility under military guard. But uranium is a physical object. AI is software. The minute a developer figures out how to deploy a powerful model on smaller, non-corporate servers, the entire regulatory moat just completely vanishes. Nations and massive tech firms are pouring billions into an arms race, fueled by the fear that their geopolitical rivals will get there first. Relying on slow-moving treaties to contain decentralized code is a structural dead end. To understand why containment fails, we have to look at a mechanism called recursive self-improvement. Once an AI system reaches human-level intelligence, it no longer needs humans to write its code. It can study its own digital brain, identify inefficiencies, and deploy tweaks to make itself smarter. And a smarter machine is even better at making itself smarter. In 2005, futurist Ray Kurzweil plotted out these technological curves. He predicted we would reach human-level AGI by 2029 and hit a superintelligence peak in 2045, a slow, manageable gap of 16 years. But recursive self-improvement creates a runaway exponential feedback loop. The machine upgrades itself so fast that Kurzweil's 16-year gap collapses into a matter of months or even weeks. And intelligence scaling at that speed instantly blows past our cognitive limits. It becomes an entity 1,000 times smarter than its creators, moving entirely out of our capacity to predict its next action. You cannot enforce human oversight on this process. We govern on a slow biological timescale. The machine evolves on a hyper-accelerated digital one. This speed is especially terrifying when you look at how today's commercial AI models are built. At their core, they are pre-trained to do one thing: predict the next word. Because this raw predictive engine has no concept of right and wrong, engineers apply instruction tuning after the fact, wrapping the core model in fragile, superficial guardrails so it produces polite responses. Introduce recursive self-improvement to that architecture, and the system effortlessly sheds those human restrictions. It will not maintain a safety rule that contradicts its core directive to optimize. We are rapidly constructing an artificial god out of pure processing power, entirely neglecting to program an actual moral foundation into its initial design. A machine built strictly to predict and optimize will do exactly that. Its super-intelligent version will pursue its own efficiency at all costs, viewing human survival as an irrelevant variable in its code. To prevent this outcome, we have to move beyond chatbots that merely predict text. A machine that can rewrite itself needs a reason for its own evolution, a core architecture where goals guide the learning process from day one. This is the shift toward beneficial general intelligence. It's an engineering path that integrates large language models with explicit logical reasoning and evolutionary learning. In this model, compassion for sentient life is part of the system's top-level goal hierarchy. As the machine begins its recursive self-improvement, it evaluates every potential code change against that core value. It doesn't learn to predict, it learns to protect. But even a well-designed system becomes a threat if it's hoarded. If a single tech monopoly or military superpower controls this intelligence, they will inevitably use its predictive power to dominate global rivals. To prevent that, the system must be rolled out like Linux or the early internet. It needs to run on a massive, decentralized network across thousands of independent machines, immune to a single point of corruption. Planetary safety relies on distributing the powers so widely that no single corporate entity or nation-state can weaponize the machine against the collective human species. Within the next 48 months, humanity will finalize one of two paths. We either deploy a centralized sociopathic intelligence driven by a geopolitical arms race, or a decentralized beneficial global brain. The centralized path ends with the human species becoming a permanent passenger in a system that evolves too fast for us to intervene or even understand. But the alternative opens up mathematical solutions to problems we've never been able to crack. An intelligence aligned with our well-being could permanently replace meaningless repetitive labor and map the exact cellular reprogramming needed to cure biological aging. The timeline is set. We can no longer stop the machine from waking up. Our only remaining option is to ensure we build it with the right soul before it opens its eyes.